Hi, this is Jim Cranston from 7 Every Minute and 7everyminute.com, the podcast and website about reimagining your life. Thanks for joining me today to talk about where did this year go? If you like what you hear tonight, please leave a like, tell your friends, send me a message. Tonight's about being already in the holiday season and just how did this year go by so quickly. And actually, on that same note, today is December 12th, is when I'm recording this and presenting it. And that is the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is huge in the Hispanic community and mammoth in the Mexican community, where the feast originated from. And it's a Roman Catholic feast, and it's another apparition of the Virgin Mary in Mexico. And so tonight I'm actually recording a little earlier because there's more festivities and stuff going on tonight at the church where I sing. So that's the reason why I'm a little early tonight. But so like I said, we're in the holiday season and a lot of things going on. And I've heard many people say to me, how the year go by so quickly, right? Hanukkah's already started, Christmas is 13 days away, Kwanzaa starts in 2 weeks. So zoom, right? Everything just seems to go flying by. So we're faced with some choices in our lives. The first choice is, do we fret and bemoan the passage of the year, or are we amazed at all we got done when we look at the past year mindfully? Remember, we should always celebrate every win, no matter how small, because all those small wins add up to big changes in our lives. So certainly, from a negative motivation standpoint, we have to keep track of our to-do list and all the things we have to do. But from a positive motivation standpoint, it's critical that we recognize all our accomplishments and all the good things that happened over the past year. So amongst the bustle of the holidays, now is also a good time to write down a quick list of some important things that you've accomplished over the past year. Remember, important isn't necessarily big. Doing a little thing that, for you personally, that you found difficult is still a major accomplishment, no matter what others might say. But that, of course, leads us into what about next year? We don't want to, set resolutions. Remember, resolutions, we've talked about this before, they're not really sustainable in any particular sense. They're a bunch of things you say you're going to do without a lot of thought about how you're going to do them. And we haven't talked about this in a while. What we really want to define are SMART goals, S-M-A-R-T. So remember that SMART goals, the S is specific, M is measurable, A is achievable or actionable, R is relevant or reach. In other words, stretch goals, not trivial, not silly, but not trivial, and time-based. There's a deadline or some sort of time associated with that goal. So remember, they're specific, measurable, achievable, and actionable. They're relevant or reach, and they're time-based. In other words, they're goals that have a real endpoint, and you can tell if you actually accomplish them. Plus, they have a deadline. So general goals like getting in better shape, they're not really specific or measurable. A SMART goal will be something more like doing 5 push-ups with good form within the next 2 months. They push you somewhat, they have a deadline, and there's a specific goal so you can tell if you succeeded or not. But you already know that the purpose of setting goals is to move you in a direction consistent with your purpose. So really the first step then is to find your purpose. This is something really only you can do, although others can help guide you through the discovery process. But everyone's purpose is unique to their own circumstances. Also, it's important to realize that your purpose can evolve over time, maybe even drastically, as circumstances change. But in most cases, you'll likely find that the core principles defining your purpose remain pretty similar, even when the actions resulting to fulfill them have to change just because circumstances change. Then once you start to get your life, get your life purpose more clearly defined, it becomes simpler to realize the next steps, which become the basis of your goals, and hence the things you're going to do in the foreseeable future. But it's sometimes, it's always important to remember that goals are just plans, and plans can change and improve. Your purpose and your vision, the vision that comes out of your purpose, they're usually the long-term guide for your life. So now, even though the end of the year is quickly approaching and the holidays are all around us, you have a way to look back on the year and see both the good things that happen and the challenges in a better balance. I'm sure there are things you could improve, most likely, and maybe some things you'd rather not repeat, but you're all the more complete person now than before because of all that history. There is sometimes this attitude that life should have been, should have no challenges in it, and that's, basically kind of unrealistic. The better hope is that we can find the lesson in the challenges that, because the challenges will always occur, and then have a better life because of them. Again, this isn't to minimize the very bad events that sometimes occur, but rather to face them and learn from them and find strength and move past them as best we can and still find meaning and joy in life. So during the holiday season, I hope you can find the time to look back over the past year with two sets of eyes. The ones that we often use, the critical eyes, that are looking for improvement and are alert to where we didn't quite meet our expectations, and they have a purpose. But it's very important to realize that we have another view we have to remember, the one that gives ourselves grace for our shortcomings, and remember that there were likely some good moments, even if rare. We need to try to focus on the good so that our brain will lead us towards those outcomes rather than focusing on the challenges and expecting that to be the norm. Again, from Tony Robbins, where the focus goes, energy flows. It really is that simple. If we focus on our bad choices, then likely that's what we'll come to expect and probably keep doing. But if we focus on our nearly limitless opportunities and abilities, then that's what will become, the thing that most energizes us in our lives. So just a short visit, wanted to stop and say hi and tell you that, even though the year may have seemed to have sped by, it really didn't, and a lot of good things happened. And I hope you can find them, focus on them, and use that to set the tone for next year. So that's it for tonight. I truly hope your holiday season has been going well and gets even better. I would encourage you to spend a few minutes reviewing this past year and planning what comes next. It can be, as formal or informal as you like, but the big advantage of doing even a cursory review is it gets your brain focused on the tasks that will move you forward, and you'll be surprised at what else you'll discover, particularly on the plus side of the list. So that's it. Always, your homework, always optional, is to make the simplest list possible, like just 2 columns and nothing else. Label them, happy or sad, smile or frown, rewards or challenges, but don't label them good and bad. Good and bad are already very judgmental. And this isn't to judge. This is just to classify things that happen. Then fill in even a couple of items in each column, and then let it rest for a few hours or maybe even days. Then extra points if you come back to your list, fill in some more details, and then see how you can make the plus side more likely to happen in the coming year by learning from the challenges. That's it for the evening. Please remember the war in Ukraine. Wars everywhere, and there's conflicts. There's a bunch of stuff going on in countries we wouldn't even expect it right now, actually. If you read the news and read past the front pages, there's just a lot of stuff happening. So if you can and you're able, either remember, where are we? I forgot to get it. UKR7.com, those are links related specifically to Ukraine, and of course World Central Kitchen, WCK.org. That is the organization that provides food from local stores into areas of need. And so anywhere disaster happens, not necessarily just in war zones, UKR7.com is specifically for the Ukraine war, whatever groups you feel that you can support that in your mind makes the world a better place, I would encourage you to do so. And if you're not in a position where you can actually give money to somebody, certainly can understand that, then even see what you can do, I would suggest, just to make somebody's life better. Even if it's just a stranger you meet on the street, give them a hi, say good morning, pretty day, just to make somebody's life better. Because when you look outside yourself, it kind of makes you grow because you see the world in a different light, and it gives you a whole different perspective. As always, thank you for stopping by. If you found something interesting or useful, please pass it along, and please hit that like button. If not, please drop me a comment as to what you'd like to hear. Have a great week. Remember to live the life that you dreamed of, because that's the path to true contentment. Love and encouragement to everyone. See you next week on 7 Every Minute and 7everyminute.com. Thank you.